Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the news hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia, Gabor.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. These are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
This evening, Electoral Commission makes decisive decision to do a partial rerun of Abaman North constituency elections. Tonight, we find out if the NDC can snatch the seat traditionally held by the NPP.
Also tonight, residents in Bono East expressed mixed reaction following GRA's notice to begin implementation of the 1 cedi energy levy starting July 16.
Implementation of 24-hour economy to cost government approximately $4 billion.
Coming up in business news, Ghana's business community calls for key lending rate cuts as June inflation hits 13.7%.
And on the international front, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs found not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking ex-partner Cassandra Ventura and another woman referred to as Jane. We're live around the world on 3news.com. We always love to hear from you on the many stories we have for you tonight.
The Electoral Commission has announced a rerun of elections to be done in 19 polling stations out of 37 in the Abaman North constituency. The election will be held on Friday, July 11. Here is a news desk report.
The Commission said the rerun has become necessary because presiding officers responsible for the selected polling stations could not verify 19 scanned polling station results used for the collation, although they were approved by agents of both political parties. The meeting, a sequel to an earlier meeting on June 12, 2025, provided both parties the opportunity to brief the Commission on any new developments regarding the Abaman North constituency as far as the recollation exercise was concerned. However, both parties informed the Commission that their positions on the matter remained unchanged. The NDC held the view that the election should be rerun in 37 polling stations because scanned pink sheets from these polling stations, which were used to collate the results, were provided by the MPP. The MPP also asserted that the results from 3 outstanding polling stations be collated and a winner declared since the NDC agents had verified and confirmed the scanned polling station results they presented. The Commission noted that it has secured verification and confirmation of 18 presiding officers for scanned polling station results in those polling stations. EC said agents of both parties have also approved same, hence a rerun will not be held in those polling stations.
Now let's go to the phone lines now and speak to Dr. Joshua Zato, who is a political science, senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana. Doc, good evening. Thank you for joining us on News 360.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
I mean, I'm sure that you've been following developments in the Abaman North constituency since December 7, 2024. Now we have some clarity on how the EC intends to proceed. How does this come to you as a political science lecturer?
Thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. If you look at what is happening in Abaman Central, it raises some fundamental questions that are difficult to answer. You want to know, how did the EC arrive at this decision? And when you begin to peel off the reasoning and how it got to this, then the waters get murkier because it be difficult to find a straightforward answer. Let's go back and look at the ramifications. This is a very convenient or comfortable seat for the opposition New Patriotic Party. Since 1980, they've been winning it. So one, it is not one of the seats that you say can flip or can change. So it's a very comfortable seat for the NPP. Secondly, the eventual winner of this seat will have absolutely or very little impact in Parliament. The NDC supermajority is intact, and the NDC's numbers will not dramatically increase a lot. So nothing will actually change how Parliament will be composed and what happens then. Then you then ask the question, why this big interest? Why are all the political parties pushing to have this happen? That is where the intrigue comes in. Now for me, by unnecessarily raising the tension so high, we are getting into a situation where it's difficult to understand, or you're not going to read meanings, or you now want to assign reasons for the decisions made. So for me, that is what has happened here. You can begin to see that there are either failures or omissions or commissions on so many parts that brought us here.
Omissions on whose part? The parties or the Electoral Commission?
Thank you very much. So let's start with the Electoral Commission. Just 2 weeks ago or recently, the Electoral Commission was in Parliament. And they told Parliament what exactly they wanted. They said, look, we've got this. We have got a painting, we've got everything. We don't need any rerun. All we need is for the Ghana Police Service to provide us security for us to declare results. That was the position of the EC. Do you understand? That has been the position of the EC throughout. Then, the Ghana Police, the question is, did the Ghana Police Service provide them the requisite security? Did the Ghana Police give them the requisite assurances? Did the security agencies, remember, the Ghana Police Service and the IGP in particular is the chief security officer for the elections. Did he and his people assure them of the needed security? He didn't. Now, while that was happening, the New Patriotic Party was declared that they have got enough ballot papers or whatever to declare a leader, so there's no need for a rerun. The only person calling for a rerun was the National Democratic Congress. It was the NDC that said they wanted a rerun. So you now begin to see, these are the players, the two political parties. One wants a rerun, the other wants a rerun. The EC says there's no need for a rerun because we have got the pieces. Then the EC said, before we can do this, we need the security and safety for our members. The person clothed with the power to provide that is the Ghana Police Service. We've not heard from the Ghana Police Service yet. And then, so the question then becomes, how did the EC get to, we will not do a rerun, to we are doing a rerun? How did they make that decision? That is what people are, how did they get there? Then we got to know, only last 2 weeks, the national chairman of the NDC was on the record. He's not even trying to hide it, saying that they want to sack all the EC officials, the chairman and the 2 deputies. So the question then, the rational question to arise from that is did the EC jump or were they pushed? Are they trying to save their jobs by adopting the position of the NDC because of the...
Is that what you think? Is that what you think is happening?
No, I'm saying that if that question arises, immediately arises, because you want to ask yourself, if the NDC says we want a rerun, the EC says we won't give you a rerun, then the NDC national chairman says we will remove you from office, and then all of a sudden you acquiesce and you say we'll do a rerun.
But it is not the entire constituency. They are saying that where there are key contentions in 19 out of the 34, those are the areas they are going to rerun these elections. So it's not like the entire constituency, which would then mean that they are pandering to the allusions of the NDC.
No, but when the deputy EC officer was in Parliament, he didn't say they would do for only 90. He said no. It was flat no.
Okay.
I don't know whether you understand the point I'm making. I'm talking about first. What we know is that he said no, we won't do any rerun.
Right.
There's no need for it. That's a fact. So we also knew that the NDC wanted a rerun. Maybe in more constituencies or few constituencies. That's a fact. They've also stated it online. Then the EC says then all of a sudden the EC has bought the NDC.
All right, Dr. Zato, We are grateful that at least you made time to speak to us on this. He is a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana. And clearly, he indicated in his submission that the Abaman North constituency has predominantly been a safe seat for the NPP. So let's take you down memory lane and look at how the voting pattern has been since at least 2000 election. So the NDC has almost always being the second runner-up. If you look at the 2000 elections, I should say, which is the first number on your left if you're watching at home, 62.9% for the NPP, 28.6% for the NDC. And that was in 2000 when NPP won the national elections. Former President Kufuor became president. Then in 2004, same, the NPP even increased their tally, same for the NDC as well, but they could not topple the NPP. If you look at 2008 and 2012, that's when former President John Evans Atta Mills became president. So the NDC won the national elections, and yet still that particular constituency, the NDC lost by 38.2%, NPP won by 57.5%, 2012, 59.7% for NPP, 38.8% for the NDC. And when Nana Akufo-Addo became president in 2016, when that wind of change blew across the country, he shot the number up to 66.8% in terms of the parliamentary votes in Abaman North, as against the NDC's 32.8%. And 2020, we also had the NPP winning by 64.2% against the NDC's 35.0%. So the contention was for the 2024 election, which per the Electoral Commission's latest statement, they are going to rerun some of the polling stations in the constituency. Let's engage Musa Dankwa, who is with Global Info Analytics. He's joined us via Zoom for a quick chat on this. Mr. Musa Dankwa, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
What is your reading into what is expected in Abaman North constituency? Clearly, it's been a safe seat for the NPP. And looking at how both parties are jostling to try and win it, where do you see this tilting?
Right. If you remember, we put Abaman North in the same category, more or less, like Domi Kwabinya. It's one of the strongholds of the NPP, no doubt, over the years. And indeed, it wasn't one of the seats that people expected NPP to struggle to hold. Now, fast forward to 2024 elections, there was a wind of change that was blowing, and I think Abaman North was no exception. Seats that were comfortably won became a problem for MP to hold. Tema Central was one. We saw what happened there. Okaiko Central was one. Knew what happened there. Abaman North, one of them. And indeed, Dominic, which flipped. Now, having gone through these processes, I don't know the reasons behind EC saying that they're going to run in those 19 or so constituencies, because I think I heard that the results there were declared using scanned copies of the pink sheet. Now, who is going to win? Look, it's going to be very difficult for MPP to galvanize their people to go out there and vote on the 11th. That will be the first hurdle they have to come across. If they are able to galvanize their people to go out and vote, then we may have a competition.
Okay.
If that doesn't happen, I'd expect that NDC guys will be more motivated to go out there and vote. Not because the winning the seat will make any difference to their numbers, but I think both parties may want to make a statement. For NDC, they could say that, look, we have performed so well that people in your own stronghold are giving us more mandate. If they lose it, it could be a very good opportunity for MPP to say that we are trying to rebuild, and the rebuilding and rebranding of the party is beginning from Abaman North. So I can see both parties fighting strongly for it, but the odds at the moment are against MPP retaining the seat.
Could it be the fallout from the December 7, 2024 elections that is probably likely again to play out, or the current challenges that the NPP is facing, in trying to get the party, get a hold on the party and the works of the current government, NDC? Could that also play on the minds of the electorate in Ablekuma North?
It's going to be more or less fallout of the outcome of the 2024 elections and the general economic development that we have seen in the country in terms of the general direction of the country and perception of voters as to how the country is doing. And that could be more deciding factor than the rebuilding of the NPP.
Okay. Mr. Dankwa, it's early days yet. July 11 is just around the corner, so we'll certainly be engaging you again as we build up to that day. Mr. Dankwa is Executive Director, Global Info Analytics, helping us at least get some historical perspective and projection into what is likely to play out on July 11 when the EC conducts rerun of some of the polling stations, 19 of them. So let's take you through of the 34, which 19 constituencies will the EC be conducting the elections or the rerun in at the Ablekuma North constituency. The areas the EC selected include God First International School, it's at Dakuman, then Pentecost Church, Mount Zion Assembly, which is around Kwashiman, DVLA office, Awoshi, Adamami, which is at Awoshi, and then also Asiedu-Dartey Memorial School, also at Awoshi. That's 4. Living Spring Day Nursery, Kwashibu, the Lord's Pentecostal Church, Kwashibu, Methodist Church, Odoko, St. John the Baptist Catholic Church, also at Odoko. Then there is a Radiant Way Preparatory School, North Odoko, Atiko School Complex, Odoko, South Odoko 4 and 5 School, and then also Pentecost Church, Chineboa. Then Light of Gospel Miracle Church, MTTD Odoko Divisional Station, Roman Catholic Church, Buzia Junction, and Bethel Baptist Church at Sakaman. Then the last 3 polling stations, we have Presby Church, Odoko, Church of Pentecost, North Odoko, that has 2 polling stations, I believe, and then also Church of Pentecost, North Odoko, the other side, which has 4. So if you are within this particular constituency, you need to pay attention because the EC is coming there on the 11th to undertake a rerun of the constituency elections.
Meanwhile, the National Democratic Congress in the Ablekuma North constituency has intensified its campaign efforts to mobilize support for its parliamentary candidate ahead of the crucial rerun on July 11. Well, this follows the announcement earlier today by the Electoral Commission confirming a rerun of polls in 19 polling stations. Supporters of the party say the rerun presents a chance to right the wrongs of the past.
The Electoral Commission's decision to rerun parliamentary elections at 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency on July 11 is seen as a compromise to resolve months of electoral uncertainty and tension. This follows a series of legal and political contentions surrounding the 2024 parliamentary results, which left the constituency without a representative in the 9th Parliament. A visit to the constituency revealed a generally calm atmosphere, with many residents appearing indifferent to the upcoming votes. Despite the political stakes, there was little visible public activity in anticipation of the rerun. Meanwhile, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, is regrouping. Constituency executives are currently locked in a strategic meeting aimed at devising a winning plan to overturn what has traditionally been a New Patriotic Party stronghold.
The margin that I'm telling you that we people, the margin is huge. Now they are dragging with small margin. That tells you that there is no stronghold in Ablekuma North now. And I'm saying it again. From this time, we are going to win this seat.
According to one of the party's leading figures in the constituency, the NDC's campaign to clinch the seat for the parliamentary candidate, Arabina Orban, is already underway and gaining momentum. Other NDC supporters have called for unity within the party to resolve lingering disagreements among constituency executives ahead of the polls.
NDC the party know, the people believe for NDC party is not a small thing, because this time everybody put for a man for the NDC. But I'm so, if God permit this seat no, NDC take them already.
The current vacuum in representation has heightened the urgency of the rerun. Abaman North remains without a member of parliament 7 months into the current parliamentary session, raising concerns among constituents about the absence of legislative advocacy on their behalf. The NPP's Ekwe Afriye, who previously held the seat, remains resolute in her bid to retain it. Her camp believes that the constituency's voting pattern favors continuity, and the rerun will only reaffirm their electoral advantage. The July 11 rerun in Abaman North is more than a procedural electoral exercise. It is a litmus test for democratic accountability and political legitimacy in Ghana's electoral landscape. For voters, it presents an opportunity to restore their voice in parliament. For political parties, especially the NDC and MPP, it is a final battleground to assert dominance in a constituency that has become symbolic.
In more news tonight, a mixture of apprehension and relief was felt across the Bono East region as residents, particularly drivers and passengers, grapple with the implementation of the amended 1 cedi fuel levy set to take effect July 16. This has ignited a debate over its potential impact on daily transportation costs and the broader livelihood of residents.
Government maintains that the levy passed by Parliament under a certificate of urgency is a crucial step towards addressing Ghana's crippling energy sector. Many in the Bono East region fear it will unnecessarily burden them.
When it increases fuel, it increases everything in Ghana, because spare parts, taxi fare, everything. It will increase fuel, it affects everything in Ghana.
There are many people who are owing electricity company, so the government should pave way for the task, especially the army or the military or any security agency to come in, help, and then collect those who are owing electricity, to put that in connection so that we won't go to what is said doom so.
What if fuel not so? And I say, what's up? Sorry, I also what they.
Government recently abolished e-levy and replaced it with the Dumso levy. Then it means it is an e-levy in a different form. The e-levy doesn't affect everybody, but the Dumso levy would affect everybody in the country. We're recently instructed to reduce our fares, and so if this 1 cedi is added, it means if our cars get spoiled, we won't even get money for repairs. However, proponents of the levy argue that this is a necessary sacrifice to prevent a return of era of prolonged power outages known as Dumso.
I don't see anything bad about it, because as for the Dumso, we are always complaining about it. So if we find something which can reduce the Dumso for us, it should be far better. As for the Dumso, it's not good. So I think if there is a way to solve the Dumso, then the 1 cedi is okay.
The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, has stated that a legislative instrument is being worked on to severely punish persons who engage in illegal electricity connections. He told Parliament on Wednesday that it has become necessary to prosecute offenders who tamper with power. Mr. Jinapor has also redirected the ECG to operate a single account that can be monitored by all relevant agencies.
The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, in his address to Parliament, noted that the Electricity Company of Ghana has embarked on loss reduction programs under the current administration. Despite the gains made, he admitted that power theft remains one of the bottlenecks in the sector.
Ordinarily, it's ECG that has the mandate to install meters, and so we are working on an LI to be submitted to Parliament, so that those who otherwise own such meters, the penalty and the penal measures will be quite severe to serve as a deterrent. And so we've been arresting people, we've been prosecuting them. In fact, there's a dedicated court for such offenses. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me also use this opportunity to make a passionate and humble appeal to Ghanaians that if we don't work with these utilities to ensure that we are able to recover the revenues, we're going to have a major challenge providing power.
He added that the ECG has made significant improvement in its revenue mobilization.
I've directed as minister that ECG closes all their accounts which they have complied and operate one single account. And with that single account, as minister, PURC, Energy Commission, all of us can monitor the amount that comes into the account. We've also directed that they make no payments until at the end of the month, so that we can use the cash waterfall mechanism to apportion and distribute the revenues. I'm very confident in the current ECG management headed by Engineer Julius Pekwena. They are cutting down on expenditure, realigning expenditure, and prioritizing expenditure. And all this ends up reducing the rate of accumulation.
The issue of the missing ECG containers featured in his question and answer session. He noted that currently 23 of the containers have not been accounted for.
Those containers shouldn't have been purchased. Mr. Speaker, the second thing, his question is direct. How are containers transported? It was poorly transported.
Other ministers took their turns to answer questions relating to their sectors. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Parliament.
And away from Parliament, the Ghana Gold Board and National Security have busted 10 Chinese nationals at Asenkrigua in the Western region for gold smuggling. The Chief Executive Officer of the Gold Board, Sami Jimfi, says seized gold worth 1.3 kilograms cost 1.4 million Ghana cedis. He says the Chinese will not be deported but will be arraigned and face prosecution.
Barely 48 hours after the Ghana Gold Board announced full implementation of the Gold Board Act and cautioned that foreign nationals can no longer engage in gold buying, 10 Chinese nationals have been caught alleged to have been engaging in the trade. Items retrieved from the Chinese include 12 pump-action guns, cartridges, a cache of 1.3 million cedis, casino cards, safes, gold bars, gold nuggets, and gold receipts.
What they do is that they convert the money into casino cards, and they had 2 huge safes in which they were keeping not the money, not the gold, but the casino cards. So it does appear that the casino cards are very, very valuable and important to these Chinese. It's a scheme of money laundering they have employed to cover their tracks. It is very clear that these are all records of gold that has been bought over a long period of time. We want to get to the bottom of it. We want to know who is behind them. We want to know who is sponsoring them. How much gold have they bought over the period? Where is that gold? How is the gold taken out? Who are their accomplices?
The Gold Board Chief Executive Officer Sami Jimfi says his outfit will pursue the matter to its logical conclusion, indicating the suspects will not be deported but will face conviction on Thursday, July 3.
We're praying the court to remand them into custody for further investigations, and it is our hope that we'll get a favorable outcome. And we are very clear in our minds that we will be prosecuting them, and we are hopeful that the law will take its course and we will secure conviction for them to be jailed. And the offense attracts an imprisonment term of a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 10 years.
He said since the Gold Board started operations, it has successfully arrested over 17 people with all the cases under investigations. He said total weight of gold seized is in excess of 12 kg, worth 23 million cedis, noting over 35 million cedis worth of gold and cash is in their possession.
I don't see us releasing even a gram of the gold we have seized or a cedi of the monies we have seized. We will sell them. We will add it to the cash. Now we are around 35 million. We pray that we get about 1 billion if they don't stop. And we will use it to build potable water systems, to build schools, to build health projects in mining communities especially, and to support the operations of the Ghana Gold Board.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama says the 24-hour economy agenda is about unleashing productivity and expanding opportunities for growth focusing on the quest to create more jobs, increase exports and reduce exports. The president, at the launch of the flagship program, affirmed the pivotal role the Volta Lake plays in this agenda.
The 24-hour plus program is presented in 9 documents: Grow 24, Make 24, Build 24, Show 24, Connect 24, Fund 24, Aspire 24, and Go 24 will focus each on a specific operational area. With a projected cost of $4 billion, the government is committing between $300 million and $400 million as seed capital to bridge the viability gaps and catalyze private sector investment. After months of deliberations and stakeholder engagement, the presidential advisor on the 24-hour economy, Guzi Tano, says this is a game changer for the country.
Our proposals to the Minister of Finance Minister aim to simplify incentives and eliminate unnecessary bureaucratic discretion, thereby discouraging arbitrariness and facilitating the automation of processes. We are confident that we will continue to receive constructive criticism and suggestions for further improvement. Criticism is always welcome.
President Mahama emphasized that the 24-hour program is not only about extending working hours, but an opportunity to unleash productivity, accelerate exports through well-structured, multi-sectoral and inclusive interventions.
Let me be clear here. The 24H Plus agenda is not simply about extending working hours. It is about unleashing productivity, expanding opportunity, accelerating exports through well-structured, multi-sectoral and inclusive interventions. We're not attempting to fix everything everywhere all at once. The private sector will lead the 24-hour plus program. Government will facilitate and not dominate.
The president announced major interventions under the program, like the Volta Lake becoming a central transport corridor, while acknowledging the challenges that may arise with the policy. He expressed confidence in the success of the program.
Our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, envisioned the Volta project at Akosombo not only as a source of power to power Ghana's industrial sector. He also saw it as an integrated project that will provide agribusiness, it will provide lands for agriculture, irrigation. Unfortunately, that aspect of his vision have been lost.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. Business, sport, entertainment are all coming up. Yes, what's going on?
Well, inflation is down significantly. We are around 13%, and you know it
has ripple effects.
Yes, and Chamber of Commerce thinks that now Bank of Ghana should drop the interest rate significantly.
As well.
Exactly.
Yeah, very
Makes
good.
sense.
Absolutely.
We need to feel it.
Those who have taken facilities and loans will be really excited about if it does happen. But let's see the details.
Well, you plead the fifth. Anyway, the details now. Hello there. Good evening. Welcome to the business segment here on News360. I am Michael Obodu. Now, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has urged the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana to cut its key lending rate at its next meeting. This comes on the back of Ghana's annual consumer inflation rate dropping to a more than 3-year low of 13.7% in June compared to 18.4% in May 2025.
A significant factor contributing to the easing inflationary pressures has been the robust performance of the cedi, appreciating by approximately 42% against the dollar this year, effectively curbing import costs. According to government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu, the slower rate of inflation in June was due to easing of food and non-food inflation.
The general price level fell by 1.2% between May and June 2025. This means that Ghanaians paid less for goods and services in June than they did in May 2025.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mark Bedwa-Boaje, has observed the sustained decline in inflation presents a compelling case for a downward adjustment in the policy rate. The Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee is scheduled to hold its next meeting from July 21 to 23 to decide on a new key lending rate.
Policy rate of 28% is the highest in the whole world, and we cannot obviously run an economy with that high policy rate. It's really affecting businesses. Interest rates are also high. So in the next monetary policy review, for me, we won't take anything short of a reduction in the policy rate because all the other indicators are trending in the right direction.
Furthermore, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has assured the public of its continuous support to drive down prices across various sectors.
You know, we have a target of 8 plus or minus 2. It's been difficult achieving this target, but looking at the trend that is going, I'm very hopeful that we'll get there. It means that all the other indicators that affect inflation in terms of the cost of producing goods and services, we need to take a critical look at it. So once we all work together, prices of goods will also follow suit.
The June inflation rate of 13.7% marks the 6th consecutive year-on-year drop and is the lowest annual rate recorded since December 2021.
Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, says it is collaborating with security agencies to clamp down on entities operating illegal investment schemes in Ghana. 2 platforms, News360 promoting an unlicensed product known as the Gold AI Rise platform, and Ghana News advertising an unnamed scheme promising unrealistic returns, have been flagged for operating outside the law.
We have also referred the matter to the security agencies, especially IOCO, who work very hand in hand with, to look at the people behind these platforms and see if we can apprehend them and make them to face the full rigors of the law in accordance with our provisions in the SIA, which is the Securities Industries Act. And so we continue the public education that these things should be looked at properly. We also encourage citizens that the SEC's doors are open. Before you partake in any investment activity, please feel free to reach out to the SEC on our social media platforms, on our contacts, or even on our website, where there's a space for requests and background checks. Please do background checks on these companies before you invest with them.
The Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG, has launched the 36th edition of its annual National Marketing Performance Awards. The institute says it is ready to play a leading role in shaping national development by supporting key government initiatives like the 24-hour economy through marketing strategy.
The Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana is pushing for stronger national impact through marketing, with a vision of being the voice of marketing practice in Ghana and a vision to lead the development of world-class marketing professionals and practitioners for effective marketing practice in Ghana, it aims to make this year's edition an extraordinary one. As the 2025 CIMG Awards approach, organizers promise a more rigorous process focused on rewarding true marketing excellence. Speaking to the media, the national president of CIMG, Michael Abiu, noted that the awards are not bought or gifted, but earned through performance and impact.
This year we would as usual be taking it a little bit higher in terms of what we do every year. We always build on what we want to do. We will be expanding. We'll be looking at marketing excellence. We'll be looking at marketing professionals and their contribution within their various organizations. We will be rewarding various sectors as we have been doing. And we are going to make it a bit more rigorous than before. We have promised and we always deliver that CIMG Awards are not gifted. CIMG Awards are not paid for. CIMG Awards processes are rigorous and it brings out the best in terms of marketing excellence in the country.
Chairperson for the Awards, Conferences and Events Committee, Kwesi Chira, noted the appropriate process candidates will need to win the awards.
The criteria for selecting the winners and benchmarking their performance will include the following: marketing metrics including awareness, numeric distribution, as where appropriate, and others. Marketing innovation, technological innovation, segmentation, targeting and positioning, social impact, contribution to national development, public image, success in the marketplace, market share, customer orientation, ecological and ethical issues, and competitor orientation.
And those were updates from the currency and the commodities market, bringing an end to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu.
Let's continue with the rest of our stories. And Ghana and India have signed a memorandum of understanding for joint cooperation in the areas of vaccine production, defense and cyber security, as well as agriculture. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is on a 2-day state visit to Ghana, praised efforts of President John Mahama at resetting Ghana and championing African democracy. The Prime Minister is currently being given the highest state award of the land.
This visit is a significant honor, considering the fact that it is the first leg in the Africa visit of His Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his 5-nation tour, which ends in the BRICS summit in Brazil. The two sides have engaged in significant discussions to deepen cooperation across various sectors of our economy, including agriculture, energy, manufacturing, infrastructural development, human resources, and health, amongst others. On the strength of the successful engagements we have had, a number of memoranda of understanding have been signed between Ghana and India to give impetus to our commitment and aspirations for sustained and enhanced cooperation. And these include the Memorandum of Understanding on the establishment of a permanent joint commission between our two countries. Going forward, Ghana and India intend to pursue these engagements through diplomatic mechanisms, including Foreign Office consultations with each other, as well as the Permanent Joint Commission for Cooperation, to give effect to the intended outcomes of our engagement for mutual benefit.
India assures full support and cooperation in President Mahama's efforts to reset the economy. Today, we have taken a decision to double the ITEC and ICCR scholarships for Ghana.
Well, it's now time for sports news.
Sports segment is brought to you by Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. Ahead of the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, a new trophy has been unveiled. That's on Wednesday. According to the Confederations of African Football, the new trophy forms a key part of President Dr. Patrice Motsepe's wider vision for the women's game on the continent, a vision rooted in growth, investment and recognition. The glittering trophy was outdoored in Morocco on Wednesday with representatives from each of the 12 teams who will compete in 3 groups. The tournament is set to begin later this weekend in Morocco. From women's football, let's now do some men's football, where Ghana winger Kamaldeen Sulemana has officially completed his transfer from Southampton to his Italian Serie A side Atalanta. The 23-year-old joins the Bergamo-based side on a 4-year deal with an option for a 5th year. Sulemana joined Southampton in February 2023 from French club Stade Rennais for a club fee, record fee of around £22 million. During his 2.5 years with the Saints, he made 74 appearances, scoring 4 goals and providing 7 assists. The move to Atalanta reunites Sulemana with his former Southampton manager Ivan Juric, who played a key role in securing the winger's signature.
Hi, it's Kamaldeen Sulemana here. I'm very happy to be here and I'm proud to be here. Just wanted to say thank you to the Atalanta fans and the club for welcoming me here. It's a real pleasure to be here and I can't wait to get started. Forza Atalanta. I just had a tour at the training center and I can say it's a big facility, a lot of stuff to do here and I can't wait to get started. I'm very happy to start my new adventure here. So far I like everything I see and I'll give all my best to the club, always waiting for the shirt.
So those were the first words of Kamaldeen Sulemana, who joins Atalanta, bringing an end to the sports segment here on News 360. You can get some more updates on our social media handles at 3 Sports. GH, up next is entertainment.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here?
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, tonight in this segment, the winner of Talented Kids Season 16, Ice Girl, received a rousing welcome upon her arrival in Asiedu-Dartey in the Western North region. The talented and versatile dancer emerged victorious at the grand finale held on May 25 at the National Theatre in Accra.
At just 9 years old, Ice Girl danced her way into the hearts of Ghanaians to emerge the winner of Talented Kids Season 16. On May 25, she claimed the top spot at the grand finale held at the National Theatre.
Week in, week out, you came, you showed, and now you won. Ice Girl.
Residents of Asiedu-Dartey in the Western North region turned out in large numbers to welcome the talented Class 5 pupil of Joy Academy. The celebration marked her return home and recognized her outstanding achievements. The homecoming was also a moment of gratitude as Ice Girl and her team visited local chiefs and community leaders to thank them for their support throughout the competition. At a special gathering in her honor, Chief of Asiedu-Dartey and Adonting Hene of Asiedu Traditional Council, Nana Kwesi Fori Abebio, praised Ice Girl, calling her a role model for young people and a symbol of what talent, discipline and community support can achieve. He also urged parents to nurture and invest in their children's talents.
It is not all who are mentally or intellectually good. Some are athletes, some are footballers. and she has chosen to be a dancer. Now, when you look at all these people, you are gracing this occasion. So my advice to the parents is that you should make sure that you have to see what our children can do and advise them, and you educate them to do it better.
Several residents echoed similar sentiment, expressing pride in her success and hopes for a brighter future for young talents in the region.
There is a gap between the kids that live in the urban areas and the kids that live here. And so because you are able to achieve this prestigious award, it will inform our kids, it will reignite them to go in and pursue for the higher future.
Time now for international news.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been found not guilty of racketeering and not guilty of sex trafficking ex-partner Cassandra Ventura and another woman referred to as Jane. He is found guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution related to both women. He is yet to be sentenced, but the charge carries a 10-year maximum prison sentence. As the verdict was read out, Combs remained hard to read. Before, he was praying with his children. Cassandra Ventura's lawyer says he's pleased Diddy still faces substantial jail time. The trial heard from 34 witnesses over nearly 2 months, including ex-girlfriends, former employees of Combs, male escort and Fidro legend. A Ugandan military helicopter crashed and caught fire at the main international airport in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, killing 5 people on board. The pilot, co-pilot and flight engineer survived with serious injuries and severe burns.
And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Portia. Gabor. Do join Alfredo Cancer at 10 p.m. for Ghana tonight. Good evening.